Hi guys. Hi. I'm Celeste. I just had like a weird idea where I thought, wait, I'm gonna set this down. I First of all, wait, where's my chopstick? I don't know where it is. I kinda wanted it. But weird, right? So I don't know how it makes sense, but there is this like as far as like decor in the room, we have this sign from a restaurant called Biff Burger. Um it just says like charbroil like drive-through. So it is a real sign from a restaurant that went out of business. This was their drive-through sign. And it was called Biff Burger. It was like in the county where I live. Like, I'm not gonna say like exactly where, but like, So it was. And honestly, really good restaurant. I've been to it like a lot of times. Like, I grew up going there, but also, fun fact, my grandma on my dad's side grew up like going there because it had been around. And when she was young, this entire area, like there were only 3 houses on the street because one was built by her father. And so, yeah, that was sort of the well, actually, the 3 were built by her father, and then she lived in this exact house that I live in. So she grew up going to Biff Burger, which I guess now if you Google it, like you would know where it is, but like, it doesn't matter because I don't live like at the actual Biff Burger. Like it wouldn't do anything because it's just in the county. So like, not to be like, you know what I mean, but the point is, well, a few things. First of all, yeah, they had like great burgers and stuff. I was looking at the sign first. The first thing I'm gonna say is I was thinking about like, what if there were like spirits that were like chilling around the area of like the drive-through all the time because it had like really interesting energy. And then when they went out of business, again, somehow we ended up with the sign, the drive-through sign, which is weird to me because how did we end up with the drive-through sign? I don't know if my dad got it for free or if he like bought it or something from them because they were literally like packing everything up, like only location out of business type, like, you know. So yeah, I was like, oh, do you think like some of like to myself, I was like, oh, like maybe some of the spirits that were like chilling at like Biff Burger constantly all the time just decided like my living room is the new like Biff Burger. Like that would be weird. That already would be weird. The sign is called Biff Burger, but Biff is like Biff, like it's like, and then it's like hyphenated and in burger, so it's almost like it's like a person's name, and it might have been the person who like started the company, but it's actually kind of freaky to me because very old restaurant that was back then in the middle of nowhere because everything was a forest. Okay, you hear me? Named after a person, but they sell like burgers, hot dogs, fries, like tater tots. I mean, they have like their own sauce and stuff, or they had their own sauce. Like, it was a great restaurant. Like, I don't know, they had like alcohol, they had like whatever. Like, it was like normal. They had like live performances, singing, they had all of that. They had like a lot of bands. They would have like days where people would like, you know, bring like really old cars, and you would see like cars from like the 40s and 50s and stuff, and they would just like, you know what I mean, like whole like car show, and you would get like a milkshake and like walk around the whole car show. And I was like 5 years old, like, oh, that's like a car from like the 40s, oh, that one's from like, you know, like trying to learn about them a little bit, but like also like I couldn't like remember it, like I wasn't like retaining the information at all. But why do I have a I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, of course it's cool. It's like memories. But it's like a restaurant that sold burgers and hot dogs that was in the middle of nowhere a long, long time ago, like named after a person, and now the sign is like in my living room. That's all. That's all. That's the final thought. But like, I love you guys. But yeah, perhaps some spirits that would go over there frequent my living room. It's not like the sign attracts money or anything. They went out of business too. So anyway, I love you guys. Bye. But I don't know how we end up with a sign, like luck or energy, because there were probably only a few families who even lived in the area back then. Mine being like one of the first ones, because it was, again, like Florida, like forest everywhere. Not swamp, because we're not in like the literal like underwater part, but like it was still giving forest until they built 3 houses, and that was it on the street for a long time. So, but like neighborhood, like nothing there yet. So if you're getting what I'm saying, which is interesting because they built 2 side by side and 1 across before they would have known the distance they would have wanted between each house, theoretically. But they kept it that way. So like, I mean, I know I'm sure they modeled it after like wherever there were just already people. But like, it was an area without people, and like they just spontaneously were like, this is the exact distance between houses, and like everywhere in the area they replicated. And then across that way, again, they replicated. But yeah, I don't know. But I love you guys. Bye.